Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Franchise Hockey Manager 9. Actually, I was asked to stream some Franchise Hockey Manager 9. I guess that lately I've been rolling a little bit more of Gengis Khan or something, so here I am. So, today we have December of 1982. We didn't do all that well in October, but we bounced back with a pretty good month of November, and now we are sitting at 12, 7, and 3, which is good for fifth in the conference. Also within striking distance are the Montreal Canadiens. That's something. We might be able to pass them in the standings, which would definitely be a first in that series. We have a few injuries, thankfully. Most of them are day to day, and the longest one, Paul Coffey, is coming back in 1 to 2 weeks. So we are going to see some Paul Coffey in this stream. Thank God, I've been missing him dearly. Even though we turned things around and we've started to win some hockey games, it is not the same without Paul Coffey. When you do have Paul Coffey, on your team, obviously. So looks like December is going to be fairly busy. Like the little schedule thing near the middle of the screen only goes down to December 18th. So that's how I know it's going to be fairly busy. I see 3 sets of back-to-backs, like in just that little snippet there. So definitely going to be busy. So, I don't have a trade for you folks. I kind of like where I'm at right now. So I'm not going to screw that. Oh, it's December 1st. I get to intervene. Ooh, look at me. I'm so excited about that new feature. Almost forgot. Alright. Who am I going to go and... Alright, the clique is gone. He convinced Bernie Johnson to leave the clique, and now the clique broke up, so after the next sim, I can get another one. Alright, so we are starting the month in New York at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. Rangers have been struggling a little bit at the start of the season. Here they are 8, 10, and 6. Which is good for 7th in the conference. We have not played the Rangers so far this season. Let's take a look at what they have here. Alright, so they do have Perry Miller, that's not going to play. Same for Terry Murray. Alright, and in net they still have Don Edwards, and now they have Steve Weeks. On D they have Gladney, Greshner, Maloney, Chorney, Larry Murphy, and Stewart. Up front they have Dave Andreychuk, Icky, Stan Jonathan, Maloney McCarty, Guy Schwiner, Doug Wickenhauser, Hugans, Lucien DeBlois, Ron Duguay, Edberg, In March, Meyer, Murdoch, and Solomon. Yeah, it's starting to... I mean, I would love to have some Larry Murphy on my team, but, past that, looks like it's a little tough with the Rangers, which is probably why they have the record that they do. Let me check how I look like over there. Oh god, we can see my stupid face pretty good. Not sure how much I like that. Alright, so again, I'm running on new settings. We upgraded our internet, which, as we found out, our internet is upgraded, but our modem is having some issues. So we have a new modem coming, and then eventually it's all going to come to fruition. In the meantime, I kind of have to monitor to make sure that I don't drop frames too much, and that, you don't see like pixelated squares in my face or things like that. But anyway, let's play the Rangers. Let's stop with the boring crap. Alright. I love me some, full 4 lines. So I do appreciate a lot of things from the older time in hockey and everything, but I like to have 4 full lines. So that's a change that hockey made that I actually like. So Right, John Garrett is going to be in net for us. Don Edwards is going to be in net for the Rangers. And of course, go Whalers, go. Let's have a good month of December as a Christmas present for myself. And it starts with a 7-5 road victory over the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. All right. Oh, yeah, we were outshot 46-24 in that one. They really didn't get the goaltending. Tapio Levo was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Yogans was the second star with 2 assists, and Anton Stastny was the third star with 2 assists as well. Rangers scored first in the first period, then Rick Aduano scored on a power play from Anton Stastny and Glenn Anderson. Then Glenn Anderson scored from Matty Agman and Mark Messier. It was 2-1. Rangers tied the game. We took the lead again. It was Glenn Anderson scoring from Anton Stastny and Rob Ramage. Then the Rangers tied the game again, and then Marian Stastny scored from Brent Sutter and Tapio Levo. It was 4-3 Hartford after one period. Then in the second period, Bo Berglund scored from Dave Poulin and Bernie Johnston. It was 5-3. Then the Rangers scored. It made it 5-4. In the third period, Tapio Levo scored his 5th of the season from Mark Messier and Wolf Payment. Then the Rangers came to within 1, but then Darren Veitch scored from Tommy Samuelson, made it a 2-goal game, and it stayed like that until the end of the game. We had a 7-5 victory in New York. Great night for Marcel Dion with the Kings. He had a hat trick against the Flames. Right, the owner confidence is successful, so season is successful so far, and the team has played very well. Try to keep a balance. Taking a longer view, we're not expecting to be a serious contender next season. I think we will. Maybe. The fans are thrilled with the team right now, and no need to worry about my job. Yay, I'm doing good. Paul Coffey ready to return to the ice? Yes, please. Oh, he's almost a 5-star player. Now, remember how when I acquired him, he had a 3-star potential and everything? He's about to be full 5 stars. Oh, yeah, baby. Jay Wells within sight of returning. Yes, that would be good as well. Now, he's not as talented or anything, but you need guys to play on your third pairing that can defend pretty good. Right, we have a day off, and then we're going to be in New Jersey to play against the Devils, formerly the Colorado Rockies. Mike Amadeo has been put on waivers by the Oilers. Coach reports on new players. Right, all of those guys are getting more acclimated. And Jay Wells completely returns to the lineup. Yes, yes, yes. All right, he was already there. It was just day-to-day. All right. Alright, we are in New Jersey now. The Devils are 6-16-6. That's good for 11th in the conference, dead last in the conference. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at their lineup over there. Alright, so Jack Hughes on the New Jersey team, but, you know, in 1982, not the same guy. Alright, he's hurt, not going to play this game. Right, and then in net they have Staniowski and Stevenson. On D they have Dave Babich. They have Beck, Sims, Auger, Johansson, Auchar. Up front they have Jan Eriksson, Gillis, Pierce, Charlie Simmer, Ashby, Malinowski, Pavlich, Denis Savard, Shinsky, Skinner, Valiquette, Delorme, Meeker, René Robert, and Ververgaard. Yeah, not a strong team. But those are trap games usually that, you know, looks like maybe we're gonna lose that one because it's a team that we totally should be beating here. Oh, Jay Wells is not playing even though he's feeling healthy. Ooh, that's interesting. John Garrett is gonna be in net for the Whalers again. Wayne Stevenson in net for the Devils. And give me a win, Whalers, please. A 6-4 victory on the road there. Alright, we outshot the Devils 41-27. Rob Ramage was the first star of the game. He had 4 assists. Denis Savard was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Tapio Levo was the third star with 2 assists. New Jersey opened up the scoring in the first, then Rick Aduano scored his 5th from Dave Poulin and Tapio Olivo. Then Mark Messier scored his 10th short-handed from Glenn Anderson and Rob Ramage, 2-1 Hartford. New Jersey tied the game, and then we took the lead again. Anton Stachny from Matty Agman and Rob Ramage, 3-2 Hartford here after one. Then in the second period. Hey Kel, see, I listened to you. I'm streaming some franchise hockey manager now. Alright, so in the second period, the Devils tied the game, and then Glenn Anderson scored his 15th from Rob Ramage and Tapio Olivo. It was 4-3 Hartford here after two. And in the third period, Wolf Payment scored from Mark Messier and Peter Stachny, 5-3 Hartford. Devils came to within one, but then we scored again. Mark Messier in an empty net from Peter Stachny and Rob Ramage. That was a 6-4 victory. Did you start the challenge I gave you? I'm curious to see how you're going to progress with it. Because that's a little bit before, like, even the periods that you like to play in the past and everything. So you might discover some players and everything. All right. So a 6-4 victory here in New Jersey. Oh, there's a few players on... Ah, got it. Alright, so we have Bob Girard, that's on waivers. We have Larry Skinner, and we have Jerry Rioux. Look at you being responsible. I'm proud of you. That's good. That's definitely good. I'll be honest, when I was in college, I was also very... People don't think that of me, but I was also very focused. Like, I was making sure I was getting my work done and everything before I would do anything else. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Rob Ramage. As we said, he had 4 assists. That was pretty good. Brent Ashton has a good game. 4 assists for him as well, for the Canucks against the Flames. Memorable night for Bill Derlago. Oh, I got it right this time. 3 goals and 2 assists in that same game. Bill Derlago extends his point streak to 14 games. Steve Thomas feeling better. Poor guy got hurt on his first NHL call-up. Nursing a prank May sideline. Doug Gilmour is in trouble with Detroit for playing pranks. That's funny. Rumor Buffalo shopping John Van Boxmeer. So Van Boxmeer is on the block in Buffalo. Now I have to say, when I was in college, my assignments were usually pretty easy because I studied arts and literature. So a lot of the times my assignments consisted of reading a book. So I was usually pretty good about getting my work done. But like, so funny a little bit of an anecdotal thing that happened while I was in college. We were assigned to read the book The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. Fantastic read, by the way. I loved it. But it's not an easy book to get into, and it's pretty thick and everything. And when came time for the test, I was the only person in the class that finished reading the book. Everybody else had not finished the book, so they begged the teacher to get one more week before getting the test, and he caved in. I was kind of upset because I was ready. I read my book, but anyway. All right, so the Rangers again. We just played them. Rangers are in town after we defeated them 7-5 at Madison Square Garden. They are now 8-11-6 and 8 in the conference. We are obviously 1-0 against the Rangers this season. Let's see if we can beat them again. Don Edwards is going to be in net for the Rangers. Jim Martinson in net for us. Back home. Come on, Wetters. A 7-2 victory. We are unstoppable. Alright, so Rangers outshot us 34-32 in that one. Dave Poulin was the first star of the game. He had a hat-trick. Rob Ramage was the second star with an assist. And Matty Agman was the third star with 3 assists. Agman is starting to rack up the points. I like that. 9,416 people in attendance for the game. Mark Messier opened up the scoring in the first from Peter Stachny and Wolf Payment. Then the Rangers scored twice. It was 2-1 Rangers after one. And in the second period, Greg Teberge scored on the power play from Matty Agman and Darren Veitch. Then Wilf Payment scored on the power play from Mark Messier and Matty Agman. Dave Poulain from Anton Stachny and Darren Veitch. And then Glenn Anderson from Matty Agman and Anton Stachny. It was 5-2 Hartford after 2. And then in the third period, Dave Poulain scored short-handed from Brent Sutter and Rob Ramage. And then Dave Poulain from Bo Berglund and Gordy Roberts. 7-2 Hartford, the final score. Oh, we had a fight between Jay Wells and Lucien de Blois. All right, no suspension for New York's Young Guns. I saw that he got a boarding major, so he's not suspended. Dave Poulain has a strong game. As we saw, he had a hat-trick. Good for him. Memorable game for Wayne Babich. He had a hat-trick for the Blues against the Kings. There was no stopping Joe Mullen in that same game. He also had a hat-trick. Mike Bullard is suspended in Pittsburgh. He's going to miss one game. Randy Cullywort is ready for team practice. That's good. Steve Thomas feeling better. Now, I have my injured players back, so I don't think that Steve Thomas is going to stick with the team. But, you know, we don't want for him to be hurt. All right, we have a day off, and then we're going to play a home and home against the Montreal Canadiens. Oh, the Canadiens have been playing all right. They took the division lead, but if we can win those 2 games, we are going to be the division lead for the very first time since I took over the Whalers. That would be pretty impressive, but it's easier said than done because the Abs are still really good. It pains me to say that. All right, Ron Lowe, is on waivers from the Nordiques. Ray Bourque has a great game. He had 4 assists against the Flyers. Memorable night for Wayne Gretzky. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Kings. Brent Ashton extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against the Blues. Bill Derlago extends his point streak to 15 games. In that same game, he had an assist, and that was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Memorable game for Leaf Svensson. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Canucks. All right, okay, we're doing better. Steve Thomas is completely recovered, so we are going to... Oh, he still needs 2 days. Okay. We're going to wait. All right, so we are in Montreal to play the Canadiens. They are 15-9-3. That's good for second in the conference. We are 1-1 against the Habs this season. Let's see if we can beat them again. We made it happen once. We can do it twice. John Garrett back in net for the Whalers. Pat Riggin in net for Montreal. Come on, Hartford. Let's beat them again. Oh, yeah, 4-1 victory at the Montreal Forum. That's a good victory there. Pretty proud of my boys. A 4-1 win. That's not an easy building to win in. We outshot Montreal 29-25. Peter Stachny with the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Darren Veitch with the second star. He had 2 assists. And Mark Messier, the third star, with an assist. Let's see. Nobody scored in the first. Then we scored 3 unanswered goals in the second period. Matty Agman scored on the power play from Wilf Payment and Mark Messier. Marian Stachny scored his 5th from Darren Veitch and Dave Poulain. And then Jay Wells from Bo Berglund and Peter Stachny. It was 3-0 Hartford after 2. Then in the third period, Montreal scored to make it 3-1. But 18 seconds later, Peter Stachny scored from Darren Veitch. It was 4-1 and stayed that way. Greg Shepard has been put on waivers by the Blackhawks. Randy Cullywort on the edge of returning. That'd be great. We're going to sim one more day, and then Steve Thomas can be sent back to the minors from the injured reserve. Ooh, Dave Semenko has been put on waivers by the Oilers. Who's going to protect Wayne Gretzky? Then Bill Stewart as well. Kent Nilsson is day-to-day in Calgary. Lanny McDonald keeps fans on their feet all night with the Maple Leafs. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Islanders. And Randy Cunneyworth is completely recovered. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so Neufeld goes back down. Then we come here. And Cunneyworth comes back on the active roster. Then Steve Thomas goes to the minors. There we go. Oh yeah, Neufeld has to clear waivers first. I don't know if he will or not. I'd like for him to, but I mean, it is what it is. Alright, hopefully Neufeld doesn't get picked up on waivers. Alright, so now Montreal is in town in Hartford. They are now 15-10-3, and look at that. Looky here. We are second in the conference, first in our division for the very first time. Yay us. Alright, let's see if we can beat the Habs again. They've beaten on us so much, so it would be nice to be able to kind of get some payback here. Bob Sauvé is going to be in net for Montreal. John Garrett in net for us. Come on, Waiters. You can do it again. Oh, we lost 7-5. Alright, so we did drop that one. We were outshot 42-25. Long was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 3 assists. Mark Macy was the second star with 2 assists. And Aaron Broughton was the third star with a goal and 3 assists. 9,554 people in attendance for this game. Montreal scored twice in the first period. Then Peter Stastny scored his 10th from Gordy Roberts and Mark Macy. It was 2-1 Montreal after 1. Then in the second period, they scored twice. Then Matty Agman scored from Rob Ramage and Glenn Anderson. Then Tapio Levo scored on a power play from Wilf Payment and Mark Macy. It was 4-3 Montreal. They added 2 more goals that kind of killed us there. 6-3 Montreal after 2. And we scored twice in the third period. Bo Berglund from Dave Poulin and Randy Cunneyworth. Then Gordy Roberts from Brent Sutter and Marian Stastny. We were to within 1, but with 1 minute left to go in the third period, Montreal scored, and it was 7-5. That's how it ended as well. And that's our first loss of the month. Now, sadly, Montreal takes the spot atop the division again, so it looks like we're going to be fighting with them most of the season for that spot. Suspension over for Mike Bullard with Pittsburgh. He is back in the lineup. Brent Ashton extends his assist streak to 9 games with an assist against the Maple Leafs. Bill Derlago extends his point streak to 16 games with a goal and an assist in that same game, and that was 9 straight games with an assist for him. Alright, we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Philadelphia Flyers, who are also having a great season. Oh, wow. So for the longest time, they only had 1 loss, and now they have 5. And despite that awesome record, that's still not good enough to be first in their division, because they're playing in the same division as the Islanders. Oh, the Islanders did play 5 more games, though. Brent Ashton extends his assist streak to 10 games with an assist against the North Stars. Bill Derlago extends his point streak to 17 games in that same game, a goal and an assist. That was 10 straight games with an assist for him. I think Vancouver seems to be on a hot streak. I don't want to play them. It doesn't look like we play them this month. That's good. They can cool off before we do. One more day off, and then the Flyers are in town. Oh, Marty Howe has been put on waivers by the Oilers. Oh, so the Oilers had the two brothers. Because I did trade Mark Howe to the Oilers. Now Marty has been put on waivers from them. Good game for Jeff Courtnall with the Washington Capitals. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Rangers. Paul McLean has a great game in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Memorable game for Denis Marouk in that same game. 2 goals and 4 assists. Sure thing. Doug Wilson is on the block in Chicago. Wow. Oh, that's why Martial was on the Oilers. There's been a trade between the Oilers and the Red Wings. Doug Smale, that we included in the trade that brought in Mark Messier, Paul Coffey, and Glenn Anderson, got traded by the Oilers to Detroit for Martial. And then the Oilers, of course, have put Martial straight on waivers. All right, Philadelphia in town. They are 19-6-4. That's good for 3rd in the conference. We have not played them, so we're going to take a look at why they are so good. All right, so Rick McLeish is hurt. He's not going to play. And Kelly Kisio is also hurt and not going to play. Oh, I can tell you why they're so good. They're almost all Canadian players there. That's why. Look at that. Alright, so Pete Peters and Doug Sodart, good old Canadian boys, like Don Cherry would say. Right. So Pete Peters and Doug Sodart are in net for the Flyers. Erickson, Selwood, Turnbull, Wesley, Wilson, Bosniak, Dupont, Holt, Shan, and Watson on D. While they have a lot of D-man. Then up front they have Barber, Kelly, LaRose, Clark, the Rat, Ken Linsman, Peterson, Taylor, In Garfield, Keith Crowder, Timker, and Reg Leach. Alright. I'm not scared. We can beat the Flyers. Pete Peters is going to be in net for Philadelphia. John Garrett in net for us. Go, Whalers, go. All right. It was a hiccup against Montreal. We should be able to beat the Flyers now. And we did. 4-2 victory. There you go. We outshot Philadelphia 47-34. Glenn Anderson was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Reg Leach was the second star with a goal. And Anton Stastny was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. So 9,954 people in attendance. Flyers scored twice in the first period. Then we scored twice in the second period to tie the game. Dave Poulain scored from Randy Cunninworth and Tommy Samuelson, and then Glenn Anderson from Anton Stastny and Rob Ramage. 2-2 after 2. In the third period, Anton Stastny scored his 15th of the season from Glenn Anderson and Tapio Levo, and then Glenn Anderson from Anton Stastny and Jay Wells. 4-2 Hartford. The victory. That's the final score. We won. All right, Mike Bussey has a strong game for the Islanders. He had a hat trick against the Devils. Brent Ashton's assist streak ended at 10 games. Didn't get a point against the Blues. Bill Derlago, however, extended his point streak to 18 games with an assist in that same game, and that made it 11 straight games with an assist for him. And a good game for Darryl Sittler with the Maple Leafs. He had 3 goals and 3 assists against the Red Wings. Alright, so we don't even get a day off. We are in Buffalo to play against the Sabres. Alright, so Buffalo is 16-11-2. That's good for 5th in the conference. They are right behind us. And we are 2-1 against the Sabres this season. Jim Martinson is going to be in net for us. Glenn Resch is going to be in net for Buffalo. Come on, Whalers. We can do this. And we did a 3-2 road victory in Buffalo against the Sabres. We outshoot them 35-29. Darren Veitch was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Jerry Korab was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Rob Ramage was the third star with an assist. Matty Agman opened up the scoring in the first. It was a power play goal from Darren Veitch and Mark Messier. Then Buffalo tied the game. It was 1-1 after 1. Then in the second period, Buffalo took the lead 2-1. Then we scored twice. Darren Veitch from Bo Berglund and Wolf Payment. And then Peter Stastny from Rob Ramage and Bernie Johnston. 3-2 Hartford after 2. Nobody scored in the third. We had a fight between Jim Schoenfeld and Randy Coneyworth. But nobody scored, which means that one goal lead held until the end of the game for a 3-2 victory for the Waiters. Alright, no news, nowhere. Nobody played yesterday either. Alright, and now we are in Minnesota to play against the North Stars. It's a little tough in Minnesota. They are 14-16-1, and we are 1-0 against Minnesota this season. I would love to beat them again. John Garrett is going to be in net for us. John Davidson is going to be in net for Minnesota. Go Waiters, go. Another road victory, a 7-3 win this time over the North Stars. December so far has been kind to us. We outshot Minnesota 43-25. Anton Stastny was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 3 assists. Matty Agman was the second star with 3 assists. And Glenn Anderson was the third star with 2 goals. Let's see. Gordy Roberts opened up the scoring in the first from Brent Sutter. Then Anton Stastny from Matty Agman and Darren Veitch. Then Minnesota scored. And we scored again. Glenn Anderson from Anton Stastny and Matty Agman. 3-1 Hartford after 1. Then in the second period, Peter Stastny scored from Wolf Payment and Mark Messier. Then Dave Poulain from Jay Wells and Rick Aduano. And then Minnesota scored. So it was a 5-2 lead for Hartford after 2. Minnesota made it 5-3 at the start of the third period, but we scored 2 more goals. Glenn Anderson scored his 20th from Anton Stastny and Tapio Levo, and then Bo Berglund scored his 5th from Matty Agman and Anton Stastny. 7-3 the final score. You know what? We don't hear from Paul Coffey feeling better or nothing. It was supposed to be 1 to 2 weeks, and he's still day to day, and it's still like we're not hearing like, oh, close to returning, oh, he's gonna dress soon. We don't hear none of that. Brian Propp extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist performance against the Leafs. We have 2 days off, and then we're going to be in Winnipeg to play against the Jets. There you go. We're starting to hear about Paul Coffey now. Ron Duguay lights the lamp. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Kings. Bill Derlago's point streak ended at 18 games. He was held scoreless against the Montreal Canadiens, so his assist streak is also gone, obviously. Paul Coffey ready for full contact? Yes, yes, yes. I wanna. Strong night for Steve Payne with the North Stars. He had 3 goals and an assist against Washington. And then Paul Coffey almost back. And we are now in Winnipeg to play the Jets. Oh, it's tough in Winnipeg. They are 9-16-5 despite having 2 really good goaltenders. We have not played them so far this season, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at their... Oh, Grant Fuhr is hurt. Okay. Alright, so the Jets have Grant Fuhr and Andy Moog in net. Then on D they have Bate, Campbell, Norwich, Chris Chelios, Lee Lorimer, and Maxwell. Up front they have Fiddler, Oida, Lukowicz, Maloney, Sinisalo, Stamler, Dave Christian, Lemieux, Murray, Steen, Sullivan, Graves, Lindstrom, and Patey. So, yeah, not a whole lot of pure talent in Winnipeg. John Garrett is going to be in net for the Whalers. Andy Moog is going to be in net for Winnipeg. And of course, go Whalers, go. A 2-2 tie. I was expecting a win, but it is what it is. Winnipeg outshot us 32-30. Maurice Lukowicz was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Gordy Roberts was the second star with an assist. And Graves was the third star with an assist as well. We scored twice in the first period. Dave Poulin from Gordy Roberts and Matty Agman. Then Mark Messier from Wilf Payment and Tapio Levo. 2-0 Hartford after one. Winnipeg scored twice in the second period, made it 2-2. Nobody scored in the third. And as you know, there's no overtime in the 80s. Well, in 1982. So, it's the end of the game. It's a tie. You cannot. They are going to show up on July 1st. All right, the red light stays on for Mike Bossy. He had a hat trick against the Rangers. I agree. If you want to scout, you have, like for the upcoming draft, you have to scout free agents, I believe. Even though you're not gonna see them as a class, as the scouting, the draft class per se, the players that they're gonna be considered free agents. So that's where you want to focus your scouting on, or at least that's how it used to be. I let the computer handle it because there's too many limitations. Paul Coffey's almost back, and Detroit is looking to trade Dale McCourt. All right, so two fairly big players have been put on the block this month so far: Doug Wilson and Dale McCourt. Alright, so St. Louis is our next target. So we are playing in St. Louis the very next day. St. Louis is 13-17-4. We are 1-0 against the Blues this season. I would love to beat them right now. Jim Martinson is going to be in net for us. Mike Liut is going to be in net for the Blues. Go Whalers, go. And it's a win. We won 4-1. Sorry, I heard a weird noise behind me, and I'm alone here, so that shouldn't be happening. I guess that must be the dog. Alright, so we outshot the Blues 45-35. Dave Poulin was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Jim Martinson was the second star with 34 saves. And Gordy Roberts was the third star with an assist. Glenn Anderson opened up the scoring in the first from Anton Stastny and Brent Sutter. Then Dave Poulin scored his 10th of the season from Gordy Roberts and Randy Cunneyworth. 2-0 Hartford after one. Then in the second period, Darren Veitch scored from Dave Poulin and Bo Berglund. Then Anton Stastny from Wilf Payment and Jay Wells. 4-0 Hartford after two. There was a fighting major between Pekka Rotacalio and Darren Veitch. And then St. Louis scored late in the third period to keep Martinson from getting a shutout. And it was a 4-1 victory for the Whalers. Paul Coffey is fully recovered. That puts a little bit of joy in my heart. Let's face it, it puts a lot of joy in my heart. So Paul Coffey gets on the active roster. I'm sending down Tommy Samuelson. Sorry, Tommy. Tommy did play really well with us. He had 10 points in 21 games. That's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with what you brought to the table. Right, we have 2 days off, and then we're gonna be at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, there's a few players on waivers. So we have Perry Miller, Terry Murray, Bill Bennett, and Doug Solomon. Interesting, Doug Solomon was part of the Mike Rogers trade that sent Mike Rogers to the Rangers in real life. Do I want this guy to? I mean, he has some interesting attributes. If I claim him, who do I send down? Probably Johnston. Or maybe Craig Laughlin. Yeah, Craig Laughlin is not really doing nothing. How am I doing on contracts? 42, yeah. I think that might be... I'll pick up Solomon. That gives me depth. I don't have a lot of depth on the team, so if I get him, that's cool. If not, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it, but all right. I'm gonna advance one more day. Oh, I did get Doug Solomon. All right, well, that's good. And then we have a trade proposal from the LA Kings who want to trade me Mark Marost for Stuart Smith. Yeah, I guess that was your monthly attempt. All right, so we're gonna send Laughlin down. Oh, he has to clear waivers. I didn't know that he had to. Yeah, I'm gonna send down Johnston. If he gets claim, he gets claim. That's fine. He's just not playing much, and when he's playing, he's not doing much. And I mean, he's kind of a playmaker, but I have way better playmakers on the team. So that is what it is. All right, so Pittsburgh is in town. They are 12-17-4. That's good for 10th in the conference. We are 0-1 against Pittsburgh. We did tie against them 2-2 earlier this season. Let's see if we can beat them this time. Oh, I forgot to check to see if our new guy is playing. Michel Larocque is going to be in net for Pittsburgh. John Garrett in net for us. And of course, go Whalers go. 6-1 victory. All right. We outshot Pittsburgh 40-27 in that one. Mark Messier was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Marian Stastny was the second star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. And Rick Aduono, the third star, with 2 assists. 9,823 people in attendance for this game. Paul Coffey opened up the scoring in the first from Mark Messier and Jay Wells. Then Pittsburgh tied the game. It was 1-1 after 1. And in the second period, Brent Sutter scored from Marian Stastny and Rick Aduono. Then Wilf Payman scored his 10th of the season from Tapio Levo and Mark Messier. Then Marian Stastny from Dave Poulin and Mark Messier. It was 4-1 after 2. And then in the third period, Matty Agman scored his 10th of the season from Gordy Roberts and Anton Stastny. And then Bo Berglund from Rick Aduono and Marian Stastny. 6-1 the final score. Let's check to see if our new guy played. He did not. Alright, that's fine. He's a waiver claim. Alright, the Red Wings are offering us Dennis O'Brien for Denis. Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me. That's gonna be a no from me for sure. Alright, yeah, Doug Simon did not play. What number are you wearing? 7? I guess you can have it. Alright, we have a day off and then we're going to be hosting the Boston Bruins. Oh, that's our last game before Christmas. You know what ARG likes for Christmas? A weighty W. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 assists against the North Stars. Mark Howe has a strong game in that same game. He had a hat trick. Dave Hunter extends his point streak to 12 games in that same game with an assist. Hakan Lube extends his assist streak to 8 games in that same game. He had an assist. Of course, Hakan Lube obtained from me in that trade that I made with Edmonton. Oh, he's almost a point per game. He's starting to break into a good player. That's good for him. Bad news for the Rangers. Stan Jonathan is hurt. All right, he's gonna miss 8 months. Oh, see you next season. Joe Mullen is in a custody battle over beloved pet for his iguana. Boston is in town. They are 13, 18, and 3. That's good for 9th in the conference. We are 2-1 against the Bruins this season. Alright, we're not changing a winning combination, so we are keeping the same lines. Paul Harrison is going to be in net for Boston. We're going to go with John Garrett. And of course, go Whalers go. Give me a weighty W for Christmas, please. Oh, assholes. Ungrateful assholes. They couldn't even win the game for me. Alright, so we lost 5-3 at home against the Bruins. We were outshot 39-32 in that one. Al Seckard was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Rob Ramage was the second star with a goal and an assist. And I think that's Fred Barrett. Yep, was the third star with 2 assists. 9,565 people in attendance for this game. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second, Bo Berglund scored from Dave Poulin and Randy Kennyworth. Then Boston scored 3 unanswered goals. 3-1 Boston after 2. Then in the third period, they made it 4-1. Then we came to within 1 with 2 goals. Darren Veitch from Rob Ramage and Bo Berglund. And then Rob Ramage from Marian Stashny and Rick Aduono. But then they scored in an empty net with 4 seconds left to go in the game. It was a 5-3 loss. Alright, so Blake Wesley has been put on waivers by the Flyers. Rick Middleton has achieved 600 points in his career with 2 assists against us. He is 29 and he is a 4.5-star player. Wayne Gretzky has a strong game. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Kings. That was 13 straight games with a point for him. Dave Hunter extends his point streak to 13 games in that same game. He did get a goal. I can lose. Assist streak ended at 8 games. He did score a goal, but did not get an assist in that same game. Bernie Fedorko has a great game. He had 4 assists against the Maple Leafs. Joe Micheletti has a memorable game in that same game. 3 goals and an assist against the Toronto Maple Leafs. There was a trade between the Kings and the Flyers. Tom Williams goes to Philadelphia for John Paddock and the rights to Marvin Mounsey. Yeah, that's definitely not considered a blockbuster trade. Alright, so we have a couple of days off because it's Christmas. Oh, nuit de paix. Alright, so Réjean Houle has been put on the block by the Montreal Canadiens. Alright, and now the Islanders are in town. Islanders are really good. They are 25, 9, and 5. That's good for first in the conference. We have not played them this season, so let's take a look at their lineup. They do have Richie Dunn that's hurt and not gonna play. Alright, so they have Rolly Melanson and Billy Smith in net. They have Burroughs Person, Denny Potvin, Claxon, Lewis Rustalainen on D. And then up front they have Bob Bourne, Clark Gillies, Awat Tonelli, Bruce Boudreau, Yves Kashiki, Tambellini, Brian Trottier, Carol Bossy, Dudley, Harris, Lumley, and Sutter. Yeah, that's a pretty strong game. A pretty strong team, sorry. Not gonna be easy. Oh, Craig Laughlin is gonna play this game. Alright, Roland Melanson is going to be in net for the Islanders. John Garrett is going to be in net for us. And of course, go Whalers go. We lost 5-1. That was a tough team to beat. We outshot them 38-36. Clark Gillies was the first star of the game. He had 4 assists. Roland Melanson was the second star with 37 saves, and Denny Potvin was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. 9,141 people in attendance for this game. Islanders scored twice in the first period. Then they scored twice in the second period. It was 4-0. Then we scored Paul Coffey from Peter Stastny and Greg Teberge. Then Islanders scored again. It was 5-1 after 2. Oh, looks like there was some fighting there. Randy Coneyworth and Dave Lumley. Then Rob Ramage and Clark Gillies, Gordy Roberts and Kim Claxon. And that was it. Then nobody scored in the third. Nobody fought either. Gordy Roberts is hurt. Alright, hopefully not for too long. 1 to 2 weeks, alright. We'll take care of that. Alright, so Gordy Roberts is listed as day-to-day, but it's a 1 to 2 weeks type of day-to-day. Mike Bossy extends his goal streak to 5 games. Against us, he had a goal. Open ice leads to a productive night for Clark Gillies. As we saw, he had 4 assists. Graham Nicholson is suspended in Boston. He's going to miss 3 games. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal and 3 assists against the Flames. Dave Hunter extends his point streak to 14 games in that game with 2 assists. And Akan Lube extends his point streak to 12 games as well with a goal and an assist in that same game still. And Tim Young in Minnesota is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. Alright, we have a day off, and then we're going to be in Quebec City to play against the Nordiques team that I gave as a challenge for Kel. Hopefully he's not curled up in his bed crying. The Nordiques do start with a few... The Nordiques do start with a few decent players. You have Michel Goulet and Réal Cloutier that are fairly good. I would probably hold on to them unless you want to use them for a trade. But you don't have a whole lot of nothing else. It's doable, though. You should be able to beat the challenge I gave you. That shouldn't be impossible. Alright, so we are in Quebec to play against the Nordiques. They are 16, 14, and 6. That's good for 6th in the conference. We are 1-0 against the Nordiques this season. Let's see if we can beat them again. Man, I picked up that guy. I picked up Suleiman on waivers, and he's not playing. Oh, I didn't take care of Gordy Roberts. I forgot. That's okay. John Garrett is going to be in net for the Whalers. Michel Dion in net for the Nordiques. And of course, go Whalers, go! What the hell happened? The game closed by itself. That sucks. Yeah, I'm gonna be on December 2nd. I have to redo everything. That's nice. Yep. I've lost all my progress. I can't say that it makes me very happy. That tremendously suck. Well, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I don't save after every game and everything. So, I won't have a choice. I'm gonna need to play it again. I just don't really have the time to do that right now. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. Get to go past my frustrations elsewhere. Um, and well, next time I play, I'm gonna need to redo December of 1982. I think I'm gonna upload this still on YouTube, even though it didn't save, just for entertainment purposes, I suppose. So if you're catching this on YouTube, I'm sorry. We're gonna need to redo that again. The game just quit. I clicked sim game like I always do, and all of a sudden, I was brought back to my desktop. So the game was closed. So hopefully that's not something that's gonna happen again. It's very frustrating, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. I'm gonna go and start preparing dinner and stuff. I also have to shower. I do take showers, believe it or not. So maybe it's not out of the possibility realm of the possible. Thing is that usually when I have time to stream, I only have time for about 1 month, and then I have to go do something like real life. Now, if I was 15 years old, that would be very different. That's all I would have to do all day, just stream and everything. But you get old and you have things like a job and responsibilities and bills to pay and crap that you don't want. So, yeah, maybe I will do December and January if I have the time. Whenever I do this again. So thank you for being around, Kiel. Sorry, it's a crappy ending. I hate to do that, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here and see you folks later.